Hey, what up, YouTubers? It's your boy, the Visionary, coming to you live with another video with the question posed from our last one, which was, what do you think about the situation and events that are popping off in Egypt and Libya, and how does it affect American life and culture? Now, just to recap, there are revolutions popping off in Egypt, and it's spreading to Libya, and the basic main causes is that the president ain't doing his job in regards to minimum wage. Unemployment is really high, more so than most countries in the world. Healthcare and the basic amenities that we have over here, the people of Egypt ain't getting over there, and so that's why the revolution is popping off. And at first, you might think this ain't a problem for us, but as it's spreading to the other Middle Eastern countries, particularly Libya, it's a problem because Libya is one of the biggest oil-producing countries on the planet, and we are one of the biggest oil purchasing countries on the planet. You know, we need oil to live, and our lifeline, our pipeline is being threatened. Why? Because as Gaddafi is losing control and grip over the country, his forces are being pushed back by the protesters, and as this is happening, he's basically implementing a scorched earth policy. This is when, as you're being pushed back, you're destroying the land around you so that, your enemies won't be able to get it. Now, this is done in regards to his oil, the oil fields and the equipment being used to mine the oil. He's destroying everything, the equipment, the fertile land, and it's like, damn, we can't, the protest is not going to be able to get anything. Now, how does all of this affect human culture and life? Well, in particular, economically speaking, since we purchase a lot of oil and gas from them, our gas prices are going up. I remember listening to the radio, I believe, and one of the stations, they were, giving a report, like an economic report on, things are going to rise. The prices of gas is going to go up to like $4 because our relationships are already strained as it is with the Middle East for that to happen, that this revolt. And underlining everything, the people have this idea that we are responsible for putting someone like this in power. And we are technically, you know what I mean? Like, we are on friendly terms with Gaddafi. Why? Because we need to have someone who's in a country with this resource that's friendly with us. You know what I mean? He's basically a puppet tyrant, a puppet dictator. How does this affect us politically? Well, politically, our foreign policy is dictated on how we, how we're perceived in the world. You know what I mean? And if we go into a country that most people either know or suspect that has a lot of oil, and we need that oil, and the only reason why we're going in is because we want to protect our interests, that's going to make us look like, the great Satan, as, they would say, even more. And most people need to realize that foreign policy is dictated on protecting your interests. You know what I mean? Protecting, resources, or more or less gathering resources and defending yourself from possible threats. That's what foreign policy is. Forget all that, lovey-dovey, man be pay me peace crap. No, it's not that. The only reason why a country or, a country or a civilization would go to war against someone, or who would step in when something is happening, is because we have an interest there, period. That's the only reason why. Now, I have another question to pose based off of that. With what's happening over there right now, do you think it will be wise for us to stick our nose into their business, per se, sending troops in the form of U.S. troops, or let's say the UN, U.S. Congress, the UN would send a unified force over there to squash, the rebellion that's popping over there? Me, personally, my opinion is they should not. Why? Because it's going to make the situation worse. And particularly foreign policy, our relationship with the people over there. If they see us coming with guns and tanks and planes to come and supposedly squash what's happening over there, it's just going to make us look worse. You know what I mean? It might actually start turning the people against us. You know what I mean? So I think we should just take a more passive stance on this. Take a step back, objectively separate yourself from the situation and let it play out. You know what I mean? Don't necessarily suggest any new people for the administration, because you know that's what's going to happen. That's the main reason why. Because I was listening to the radio, and the radio was talking about one of the moves that they wanted to do in terms of foreign policy is to actually send people over there, send some type of force, some troops to help back up Gaddafi's forces, so that he'll be able to gain control over the country. But they won't talk about that. Why? Because Gaddafi's the bad guy. I mean, he is. I agree. He's 100% the bad guy. But he's for American interest. You know what I mean? He is our puppet, and we need to back him up, sadly to say. Because if we help him gain control of the country, you know, my heart goes out to the people that are there, but America needs to protect its interest, and its interest is the oil that's in that country. You know what I mean? I wish it wasn't that way, but that's how it is. You know what I mean? What can you say? Well, that's it for this section. This topic. The next one I'm going to be talking about is education, and does it do our children justice, and does it give them a fair chance at success in the future? Thank you. Peace. Take care.